Hi, my name is Mike Crenshaw, and I'm the president of Education Without Borders, and we're applying for the Metro Community Place Building grant. So I'm going to answer these questions. Number one, and thank you for reviewing my application. What is a critical and current community challenge or opportunity your proposal addresses? The impact of converging crises on the youth living in communities within Portland's urban growth boundary is devastating. Gun violence, substance abuse and addiction, suicide, racial terror and hate crimes, houselessness, poverty, mental health crises, COVID 19, and healthcare disparities. Okay, these crises are converging in an unprecedented way and impacting our young people in a devastating way. I do not imagine we will resolve these issues single handedly, but we can contribute to critical analysis, expand and elevate awareness of root causes, and encourage and support young people in working creatively and collectively on long term strategies. Number two, who will you be working with? List your partners. Um, Imani Muhammad, Rich Hunter, Michael Liberto Jackson, and Amber Boydston. Imani Muhammad is a native of Oregon and began her youth development career over 20 years ago. She's the founder of YOUTH and currently serves as board president. Imani has dedicated her life to the city of Portland and continues to work with families in varieties of ways. She works for the Boys and Girls Club as a senior director of equity and community engagement. And you can read more about her work at travelingpillar.com. Rich Hunter is a Northeast Portland native, a descendant of the historic Vanport flood victims. In addition to being a well-known touring hip hop artist with over 6 albums of material, Rich is a dedicated community member and outreach worker. Rich worked as a camp counselor for the Salvation Army Camp Karatli for 3 years and as head counselor crisis intervention specialist for 2 years. He's put together numerous toy drives with Solid as a Rock PDX, and he currently works as an outreach worker for OVP and POIC and mentors foster teenagers and at-risk youth. He's also recently started another nonprofit called Positive Wave, and their mission is to keep young people occupied and focused on work and school while expanding their minds and nurturing their curiosity so that they can be whoever and whatever they want to be through hard work and dedication. I'm reading from their bios right now. Mike Liberto Jackson is a father, activist, musician, and recording artist who has substantial experience in mentoring and workforce development. For 8 years, he served as the Self Enhancement Incorporated studio music composition coordinator, where he mentored youth through the Black music, where he mentored youth through Black music history and production. He also started Role Models Applying Positive Peer Pressure, a music mentoring program at the Rosewood Initiative with David Jackson, aka OG1, and he's currently the Rosewood Black Community Organizer. He also worked as a specialist and navigator for the In Focus program at Southeast Works, and is working at POIC in the Community Healing Initiative Elevate program. He mentors African American gang impacted young adults and formerly incarcerated people through culture, wellness, career oriented employment, crisis response, and knowledge of self. So these are the people that I'll be working with over the course of the funding period to implement these 4 events that are served as workshops where we collectively strategize with our youth across the Portland metro area. Describe what you would do with this grant. Well, I just talked about that. Yeah, we're going to be working over the course of the funding period doing these 4 events. I'm going to design some curricula that'll inform and give structure to the discussion, and then some of the outcomes will be bringing youth together to creatively think and collaboratively work on long-term solutions, as well as create some cultural, artistic expression. So music videos through which we could partner with outside the frame, and songs. Various community partners will enable us to get the songs recorded and released to give the creative youth a way to reflect on this process. These 4 principles: placemaking, by focusing on neighborhood-oriented geographic areas of the Metro Service District in North, Northeast, Southeast Portland, and East County, We are intentionally targeting areas that are central to young people's existence, cultural, and familial identities. We want to literally engage young people in the communities that they live in, go to school in, and work in every day. Equity. BIPOC youth are the target demographic for the engagement because they're disproportionately impacted by the life-threatening realities that we seek to confront through this process, strengthening relationships and further developing a culture of collaboration. Youth are stakeholders in their neighborhoods, communities, and families, and need to be centered whilst seeking solutions to the problems they face. All the adult leaders who will be working collectively in this cohort are Black, African American people of color, who are youth workers, community organizers, artists, educators, and activists, as well as parents raising our own children in this community. Um, Partnerships with other community nonprofits and organizations are essential and integral to this work. So there's a number of people who we're going to be partnering with to reach as many youth as we can within the urban growth boundary, and and get the work done and have a lasting impact in our community. Leadership, people participate in projects and decisions that affect them. Yeah, we're influencing and encouraging young people, provide a space for young people to come together, and in doing so, creating a fertile environment that will support leadership as leaders emerge by committing to the work that we create together. Or racial equity is core. Is there anything else that I want to share about how our efforts will be led by and include and benefit Black and Indigenous people of color? Yeah, all the leaders that are going to help me execute this are Black, African American people of color, and the youth that we're going to be doing outreach for, that we already work with, and new ones that will come into working with us through this process and this project. We're prioritizing working with BIPOC youth. What kind of impact do I hope to have? And how will people feel more connected to each other? I'm hoping to influence young people to want to critically think and work together and take control and assert their power, their personal power and their collective power in their community, so that they understand the reality that they inherit is something that they can shape, that will benefit them. And where will this happen? How will our efforts make people feel more connected? Because we're going to be working with young people all over the city, giving them platform and public-facing community expression of their work. And I think it'll be encouraging for them to see each other. Maybe even some healthy competition will evolve, and it'll influence youth to be like the reflections of the leadership that they're seeing as people are encouraged to take part in this work. 7, is there anything else I want to say? Thank you. I know I talk fast, but I'm trying to get my 10 minutes. All right.